Hello everybody and welcome back to the Bourbon Bar. I'm Holden and today we're going to be tasting a whiskey that I am very excited to get in my mouth. And that's Booker's Batch 2022-02, the Lumberyard batch. Now, for those of you who don't know, Booker's is one of the first kind of special whiskeys that I kind of dove into, and I really loved batch 2021-04, No Strangers, and so getting another Booker's, getting my hands on another Booker's is exciting for me because I really liked the other batch. So I'm excited to break into this and see how it compares to batch 2021-04. That being said, it's time to open this bottle, and one of my favorite parts about Booker's is the story, the packaging, everything about the bottle. I mean, it's sleek and sexy. It's just like, it's everything I want in a bottle of whiskey. So the stats of this bottle are 62.4% alcohol, which comes out to 124.8 proof, and it has aged for 7 years, 1 month, and 7 days. So pretty typical of Booker's proof and age limit, near the 6 to 7 year mark, and usually around 125 proof. That being said, I think it'll taste fantastic. Like I said, 2021-04 was awesome, and I usually like the beam profile and a little bit of a nuttier whiskey, so I really think this will fall right in line with what I tend to enjoy. Time for a fresh cork pop. Smells good. So I'm going to pour this in the Glen, and then I'm going to go ahead and read you guys a little bit, or kind of fill you guys in on the story behind this Lumberyard batch while I let this thing air out a little bit. So I'm going to get a nice good pour in there. Looks like a nice, deep, rich color, so very appealing to the eyes. So the story behind this Lumberyard batch basically goes something like this. So Booker No was fresh out of college, where he went to the University of Kentucky for a little stint before deciding to join the Air Force. Once he got accepted to the Air Force, the local police called his mother to verify all of his information, and when his mother found out that he was going to the Air Force, she called him up and convinced him to come back and work on the family lumberyard that was owned at the time by Jeremiah Beam, also known as Uncle Jer. Booker was over 6 feet tall and very strong for his age, which made him a perfect kind of worker for those conditions in a hard, laborious job. He gave 110% everything he did, which allowed him to work his way up and officially opened the door to him becoming a master distiller at the distillery. That being said, that is what this batch is named after, was his stint at the lumberyard, where he worked his ass off in order to secure his spot in the distillery. So, that being said, it's time to dive in and taste and smell this whiskey. I'm super excited because this stuff is usually fantastic. For those of you wondering, I paid about $89.99, so about $90 for this bottle. I just missed it at a store at Costco. It was only $80, and I just missed it by like a day. They were all sold out, but luckily I found it at Woodman's, only $90, which honestly, not too terrible for what Booker's is going for nowadays. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get on the nose and let you guys know how good this is. First thing I notice is it's very proofy. I can hold the glass pretty far away from my nose to get that nice scent. Now, the first thing that I'm noticing besides the proof is a nuttiness to it, which I personally love. I know a lot of people don't like the Beam nut profile, but I personally find it to be one of my favorite parts about Booker's and the Beam products. I want to say there's like a salted caramel, almost like freshly salted peanuts and caramel, like maybe a payday bar. Lots of dark, rich oak and like vanilla. Actually, vanilla is a pretty prominent note on the nose of this one. Yeah, between salted nuts and caramel and vanilla, I'd say that pretty much sums up this nose to a T. It's very potent and very full smelling. There's a little bit of fruit on there. Maybe like a light cherry note. I want to say there's a little bit of a graham cracker honey note in there as well. Kind of mixed in with all that, but mainly it's a lot of that lightly salted nuts on caramel, like a payday bar, some vanilla, and a lot of oak presence in there. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and get this on the palate and let you guys know my first impressions of 2022-02. Okay, so right away, up front, super oaky, some rich vanilla, a little bit of like a leathery note on the palate right on the front there. Actually, I lied. Leather's on the back end. On the front, I think I got a little bit of that cherry note. It was more potent for sure than it was on the nose. Very good, but you can never get everything off the first sip, so let's go in for seconds. Okay, so right away I'm noticing that oak spice. There's a good spice in here. I want to say it's closer to a nutmeg, and there's a cherry note in here that is right on the palate up front. Cherries, nutmeg, oak. On the finish, however, it leaves a little bit more of those darker notes. It has some nice leather and oak spice. Very warm, huge Kentucky hug on the way down, and it feels very nice. Full-bodied, full-proof. I mean, this is 100% whiskey. I mean, this is just the best of the best in terms of what you can get out of a barrel. That being said, the initial thoughts of this whiskey are phenomenal, but while I let this sit down and open up, I think it's time for a message from today's sponsor. Oh, hey guys. I bet you guys are here to listen about the ad spot. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Holden, you're doing ad spots now? Well, yes I am, but only because I really like what this company is doing. Now, the company that I'm working with for today's video is called Wrist Mafia. If you haven't heard of them, you must be living under a rock, because these guys are bringing the watch game to the next level. For those of you who don't know, Wrist Mafia is a subscription-based company where you pay $40 a month and get a watch sent to your door every single month. Now, these watches are valued at $100 or more, and you get one every single month, and they're always different. Now, this is a perfect thing to have if you're looking for something to complete your outfit, or you just want to step up your watch game. Honestly, since I had Wrist Mafia, I've been able to coordinate outfits a lot better with watches. Right now, I'm wearing a Blaney Expedition. Now, all these watches come in a fancy little box that sometimes have a description of everything that this watch has to offer. For instance, the one that I'm using has a high-tension silicone strap, scratch-resistant coated crystal face, and is water-resistant up to 30 meters. All this for just $40 a month plus shipping and handling, and you could have a watch sent to your door every single month. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, maybe watches aren't for you, but you know someone that may be into it. Well, that's awesome, because this is a perfect gift to give someone. You can buy 3 to 6 month subscriptions to give to someone where they'll get watches for the next 3 months or 6 months on your dime. But if you guys don't already have a subscription to Wrist Mafia, where you can get awesome, amazing watches for such a cheap price, go check them out, you won't regret it. That being said, I think it's time to get back to the video. Alright, welcome back to the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that ad from our sponsor. So now that this has had some time to open up, it's been 15 minutes, and I'm going to let you guys know how much it has changed since then. I'm going to get it on the nose and the palate one more time before I give you guys a final grade and let you know if this is a bottle you should be hunting. The one thing I'm noticing is it has a little bit more of a bready note than I realized in the beginning. It kind of comes through with that nuttiness. It's almost like a nutty bread, and it's got some of that cherry aspect that's coming through on the nose in that breadiness, I think, is kind of where it's coming from. Really sweet, very oaky, It's got some of that caramel on the nose as well, but overall, like, really kind of a bready note. So I really think caramel nuts, bread, all very good notes for this nose. It's really full-bodied and it has a lot of flavor in it. This is definitely one that you can sit down and pick apart. It's very nice on the nose and very fulfilling. That being said, we're going to jump on the palate again and let you guys know how it changed. It's just, the thing I love about Booker so much is that mouthfeel. So thick and viscous and chewy. It's like, it's really something that just coats your entire mouth and is like a whole body experience, which is what I love about them so much. Now, it's very oaky and very dark on the palate. Definitely, there's that fruit note in there, but the bready note, it kind of goes out the window a little bit. The nuts on the nose definitely come through on the palate a lot more. That oak is there. There's some nutmeg spice. It is a bit warm too with the proof. You can definitely tell the proof is there. But overall, really nice on the palate. The finish carries a little bit of that leather and oak spice. The leather is honestly pretty prominent. It's very dark and earthy. Really good, and carries a nice strong finish that lingers all the way down the throat. So it's really, really nice. I think I got a little bit of vanilla in there as well on the palate, but I'm going to let you know, again, I'm going to search specifically for the vanilla in this one. Yeah, so vanilla, but like more like a rich vanilla extract in the finish of this. So on the way down, you kind of get that vanilla coming back up, retronasal. It's like a strong vanilla extract coming through with the leather. So overall, really, really good. Honestly, this is fantastic, but I think it's time I give it a grade. But honestly, my opinion for Booker's Batch 2022-02 is that out of 10 points, this gets an 8.8. Now, 8.8 because this bottle is fantastic. The mouthfeel is amazing. The flavor is everything that I look for. I really like a nutty note, and I really love that beam nuttiness, and this packs all of that and more. It still has some great dark notes in it. I like that leather aspect that comes through on the finish, and I really like everything else on the nose, that nice warm breadiness and caramel. And that vanilla finish is really, really nice. So an 8.8, the only reason it's not getting higher than that is because for $90, it's, you know, I don't know, $90 is about a good price for it. I know a lot of people wouldn't pay that for Booker's, but it falls right on my profile, and honestly, I kind of hold Booker's a little bit higher than I hold Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and that might just be my bias coming through, but some of these Booker's batches can definitely hold its own against Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. That being said, that would be an interesting blind to compare this against ECBPs and putting them in a blind. But now I have 2 Bookers, so who knows, maybe I'll do that video coming soon. But that being said, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have found this whiskey, please let me know what you think of it. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions. Also, if you haven't liked the video yet, what are you doing? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you all in the next class.